Okay.
Yep, started.
Okay. So good afternoon or night for everybody, whatever you are. Today we're playing the Dune Weekly 2 vs 2 finals. One side is Cream and Grey. I think they won twice before, and they never lost a match. They are good players, probably one of the better players. They are playing Harkonnen and Fremen. And Horus Ra and Lolgek, they are playing another team, Corrino and Smugglers. Lolgek is also a 2 vs 2 champion. And Horus Ra is quite often have finalist. So I really want to know what they are going to play. So what do you think about it, half decent human, about the matchup?
Well, so far, I think the matchup is interesting because the Fremen and Harkonnen seems like they might be going some more early. And Corrino Smugglers is a little bit later, so they might try to force like some skirmishes where the Smugglers can really shine against heavily melee Fremen.
That's in general the idea of each faction, but you can definitely see on the tech tree what they're going to do.
Yeah, for example, Fremen is going economic, which is interesting. Because normally you'd see a military first Fremen. And whereas Smugglers is going military first. So, maybe I was wrong about the whole whether they were going early or not, because it seems rushing military on the Smuggler side. Yeah.
That's quite difficult to say right now. I missed the tech trees. I think I saw Harkonnen going
you can
before.
See the thing going on under them, whether it's red, you know.
That's red, yeah, but it doesn't say. Say they start with red.
Yeah, because Grey and Cream are both going development tech.
I think the first tech in every tree is quite attractive. It doesn't say they go deep red or something, but
true.
It's every first tech in every tree is quite good. And mainly and even if you're aggressive, you most of the time start with first yellow to get the maintenance center or some other economic benefits.
Sure.
And then later you switch to red. It's quite interesting choice for Harkonnen. They pay in Harkonnen. Grey have picked my favorite combination. It's Peter de Vries, and he can give some discount on the missions every time you sacrifice an agent, and also you get money if you sacrifice agents. That's quite nice, but since the nerf, it's okay. The other one is actually my late game. It's a late game powerhouse. You get 50% manpower refund if you lose a unit.
That's one
very
of the better
strong
ones, because with the amount of manpower you use. And Corrino, I see, is using Ramsham, and I think is that Irulan? I think it is.
Let me see. I think Ireland, yeah. Not sure what they do again. Ramshan, I know you stop.
Sardaukar first, and that's really useful for if you want to not go military taxes early while still maintaining a lot of military power.
It makes you more less sensitive for early attacks, and also do raiding more effectively.
It also gives you a very, very powerful core army for the late game, because you can get high rank Sardaukar to core your army. Personally, I go 2 Sardaukar, but I understand that that's not necessarily optimal. It's actually pretty bad.
I think it's probably pretty bad, yeah. Beginning, I think 1 Sardaukar is quite good just to tank the damage for the militia.
Yeah, and the execution just makes everything go a little bit quicker.
Yeah, that's not my biggest.
Yeah,
I don't think that's
authority is the big limiter.
Yeah, I think Sardaukar is probably one of the weakest elite units I think in the game. If you ask me, but personally, but
especially with the addition of Akaz's champion units not being able to be executed.
Is it possible? You cannot execute the champions? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh, you can. Oh, okay.
You can't. It's pretty awful.
That's quite nice. I saw something that Smugglers already went for research agreement. There's a different thing between 2 vs 2 and 3 for all. In 2 vs 2, the meta changed a little bit the last 2 weeks. That the team actually they synergize their research to get early agreements, and the research agreement is the most popular, and then the trade agreement.
That's
They
what I'm seeing with
prioritized it.
statecraft research. Normally, it seemed to in before in 2v2 matches, not 2v2, I mean like free for all and things like that. Statecraft is heavily disincentivized for the most part.
A little bit depends. I like to start with two blues to get the extra agent production.
Isn't
But
that the... Oh, I meant... Yeah. There's 2 blue types, I forgot. Yeah. The turquoise and the dark blue.
But I think in 2 vs 2 the agreements, the trade agreement, research agreement, especially research agreement is very good. Research agreement I think gives you 50% discount on the knowledge if your teammates already researched it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a quite big deal early game. You can really synergize well with your teammates. We've really seen the last 2-3 weeks people really benefit from it. Let's see if I think
I also noticed when the match that you were playing earlier that you did a very synergistic approach to like what win condition you were going for, specifically like for example the governorship.
Yeah, I didn't really do it perfect because I didn't increase my influence capacity. But I know how to do it now. It's one tech I missed. But the rest I definitely helped. I think also governor win condition is way better in 2 vs 2 than free for all.
Yeah.
Free for all, most of the time you have.
There's no chance because there's 3 people that are going to vote against you.
Yeah, that's very difficult, and 2 vs 2 is definitely valid.
Yeah.
So governor is a very interesting win condition 2 vs 2.
I'm gonna be honest, I hadn't really seen it much in matches until recently-ish. I think the most recent update had kind of made it a little bit more viable.
Yeah, because the Fremen has more influence production right now. They're probably even one of the highest currently in the game. Instead of one of the lowest, one of the highest. It's quite fascinating. They're definitely contesting the governor win. I think it's very good. And free for all is still very bad. Let me see. What are the council things over here? Who takes the manpower recruitment cost, the reduction? They probably go for aggression.
Oh, it looks like Corrino. Someone's voting for Corrino to get it. I believe Smugglers voting for Corrino, so they're probably trying to get Corrino. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. And also in 2 vs 2, it's very important to count the votes. How much votes does you have, your team have, and your opponents have?
And this is where Fremen has a major disadvantage with the voting system and the whole.
But also smugglers.
Yes, but
Also
smugglers I
smugglers.
feel like have a little bit more opportunity to get influence and stuff.
Early game definitely. I think they in the first statecraft research foot in the door. They get extra intel and influence from underground headquarters in an other factions region. So they can boost the influence quite a lot early game.
Which should help them, considering Smugglers is still going down military unit trees. So.
Smugglers has a lot of flexibility in
yes,
their.
Especially with the pillaging, in regards to. I mean, they kind of changed pillaging. Yeah, Smugglers has gone entirely down the military tree so far, from what I just saw. And.
Corrino Ra went from the.
Yeah, he went military and expansion. It looks like, so that's interesting.
Yeah, he knows that graying team up there. They like to have 50 command points CP in month 3. So he has to up the game. Let me see what Cream is doing.
Also, it looks like I think they're going to be hotly contesting the polar cap soon. But that is to say, Smugglers and Corrino.
Sorry, what did you say?
I think Smugglers and Corrino are going to be hotly contesting the polar cap.
The polar cap is very important in 2 vs 2, even more than free for all, because it also provides mobility to your teammate.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have more mobility to help your teammate, but also to attack one of the 2 other players.
I would say they're heavily incentivized because there is more heavily incentivized. It looks like because they've got all the valuable tiles adjacent to the polar cap right now.
And they've got quite good tiles over there. Yeah, it's very.
From what I can see.
I think a spice field. I see.
And a rare materials.
That's quite common next to the polar sink to have those
It looks
valuable.
on the other side, they only have they don't have as good stuff. They have the spice fields, access to the same spice fields, but other than that, it doesn't look like they have the same level of. Other than perhaps Well of Riches, it looks like.
The Well of Riches is quite nice, but
that's going to be huge, especially for Harkonnen being able to overwork the people there on the Well of Riches. That's a lot of money. If they can get it.
I think the primary focus in the beginning is always spies. Yeah. And I think for almost every faction is like that. Smugglers a little bit less because they also can get spies on the underground headquarters, and they also can save spies with the traffic station. It's a unique building to sell spies, not on the market but directly. But the most factions need the second spice field or even third one. You can see Fremen does it.
Yeah. I think it's interesting Harkonnen is running on a deficit right now for Solari. And while that is pretty, that seems relatively standard for Harkonnen, normally it feels like they'd have a little bit less of a deficit than 35 right now, especially with their current balance of spice to Solari. What do you think?
I think that... I'm not sure, but probably Harkonnen has a lot of manpower production. He has 21 right now.
It's absolutely ludicrous.
So he probably has a lot of upkeep, and it's probably in every village. There's a great strategy. In every village he has a recruitment center. You get a lot of manpower. And especially for Harkonnen, that's essential. There's two purposes for manpower for Harkonnen. One for military, of course. And the second, to also use it for villages.
Yeah.
Because for every empty militia slot in their village, they get 5% less production.
Militia spot. Yeah, exactly.
If they fill, they don't have the penalty anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So the manpower is not only a military resource, but also a production resource. It can also use for oppression, by the way, in third option. But it's more later in the game, I think. But the beginning is get your military and also militia for production military purposes.
Oh, it looks like Corrino is now claiming. I know it's one of their base tiles, but it looks like they're trying to claim the heating core tile, in order to get power cells, because then they can. I believe it allows them to create their artillery units.
It's quite interesting play. You can see typical Horus Ra plays a standard Corrino, because Corrino always goes for. The biggest drawback of Corrino is how to get the second spice field.
Yeah, and it looks like he avoided taking a close territory to get it.
It is not possible. You cannot get closer spies than this one.
Yeah.
He has a little bit unlucky with the spawn over there, but it's essential for Corrino play.
Yeah.
And because they don't get a lot of villages, they have to play it tall, and spice fields are quite important for any faction.
Especially considering you can use the silos in order to boost spice production within a tall set of things. Oh, you read more treaties between Corrino and Smugglers.
Now, it's really the meta. It developed the last couple of weeks. That the treaties are very important to us too. It's very different than Free For All, actually. The whole tech treaty in the beginning is different. I think they did the trade and the research right now. Corrino and Smuggler. Let's see what Logek is doing. Logek just do the regular pillaging, as always, as Smugglers.
Yeah. It seems like pillaging has been a lot less good lately. Is that not the case, or? The techs that make it better, I think.
Nerfed it. But pillaging is still a very important early game mechanic.
Of course.
But also for Smugglers and not all factions are good in pillaging. For example, Smugglers they get more benefits if they pass 5k hegemony for pillaging. Harkonnen gets 50 intel for every pillaged village, and the others don't really get something, I think.
Yeah, which is interesting. I feel like for example, Corrino is encouraged to play tall, but then they can't really pillage effectively either. They don't get the pillaging techs. So.
Yeah, it's in a high level play that plays you always want to pillage.
No, of course, because it's just a way to get quick cash, and it allows you to run on a non-stop deficit. Like Smugglers is on a 178 Solari deficit. It looks like right now, which is standard. That's standard for Smugglers though, because their pillaging is their economy, so it doesn't.
Yeah. That's the biggest strength also, I think. They can bridge the deficit, high upkeep from the military, blessed greed, and whatever. That's interesting that Lolgag goes for scavenger drones. That's not meta. I don't know what he's doing with the scavenger drones.
They're
I
not
was testing
bad,
them.
but they're just not the best. That's the thing.
Yeah, it depends what kind of utility it has. I expect he's going to use the scavenger drones to discover all the point of interest on the map to get a lot of research, a lot of resources,
That would be
quick
good.
resources.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, I did that strategy a couple of months ago. I'd go for the polar sync right now. It's quite interesting.
That makes sense, though. Corrino can't really expand effectively, whereas they could just rush the polar sink and probably get it. That, or they're going to pillage it, make it so that nobody else can take the polar sink rapidly.
That's very important too. Versus 2 is also deny some key regions in the middle, and just to pillage it.
Nah, they're taking it. It looks like.
They're taking it. I think they. Oh, no,
But that makes sense considering.
Okay, they're taking it. That's a ballsy move. But
But
they are
with
both have
Corrino
quite
right
high.
beside him, it's really quite easy because I think this Corrino is going to be able to contest if they do try to fight further.
That's quite interesting. I didn't see that Smuggler had some units in.
I didn't see that either, and I'm watching the Smuggler player right now, so
The polar sync is strategically so important in 2 vs 2, more than 3 for all because it's mobility.
I think maybe he might be trying to push the Will of Riches or the. Yeah.
Let me see.
He might, is what I'm saying, because he took the polar sink. Now he can effectively try to take the valuable territories of the other side and deny them from the opponent, or pillage them to stop the opponent as well.
Yeah, pillaging is very important to deny. It's way better than attacking. Pillaging it gives you extra time.
Interestingly enough, Harkonnen's non-stop expanding, but he seems to be expanding further in the back, which I think is interesting.
Now, a normal thing for Harkonnen is to expand forward and have some, how do you get? Suck villages in the back. There are 2 purposes for that. One, they get 50 intel for every village they pillage after 5k hegemony threshold. And second, if they have the faction-specific research from Harkonnen, they get a discount for every time they pillage that village. So it's a normal meta for Harkonnen is to forward expand and get some villages in the back that you pillage regularly for intel, but also to lower authority costs from potential hegemony rush at the end. That's the most time what Harkonnen do. The most interesting, let me see the.
What's interesting is I think the Fremen player, with his cream, has Fadakin already.
Everybody has Faken. Has he 10k already? Let me see. Not 5k, yeah. Vatican. I think he has 1. I think it's one of those events.
Ah.
Every faction can, if they kill 10 units or something, I don't know anymore.
Oh, some kind of get a max. Yeah, they get a max thing. That just explains why he's overcapped as well.
Yeah. You get an elite. I think it's for every faction the same.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a maxed out elite if you kill certain players. I think every faction gets that. I think the elites of every faction you only get after 10k threshold. 10k hegemony threshold, and Fremen is only at 6.9. Smugglers is really smart to pillage forward. Why is it important?
Yeah, denial, because he denies that.
Denial.
That's important for the Fremen. Ancestral caves building, I think, is what they can build there instead of fuel cells.
Yeah, that's very important because you don't connect those 2 regions, and that is the
supply loss before fighting.
Yeah.
With smugglers, do they still have the supply loss damage mechanic or no?
supply loss mechanic. I
They
don't
had
know.
the supply loss damage mechanic where they did more damage with enemy supply loss.
No, that's all quite a long time ago. Probably half a year or something since the official release.
Also, the Ancestral Caves, I believe, offers a straight-up damage boost, and that's just really, really good for what I know Cream is doing with the just all melee basic infantry, for the most part.
Yeah, it's always Fremen play, mostly melee, because they have only shitty ranged options.
It's a shame they nerfed all the non-stop shotgun spam for Corrino, but...
Shotgun spam? What was that then?
What happened was that because shotgun made it so that you would completely remove the close range penalty for their ranged unit, and would only decrease their range by 50% and increase their power by 1.
Okay, there's a big move coming up in the middle.
Okay.
I think they...
Oh yeah, that is big.
It's a very big move. The most interesting is right now, how is Fremen going to position them? I hope that Smugglers and Horus are not going to fight next to the desert to prevent the Thumper from Fremen to drop.
They're just going to... I think Fremen is going to try to... what's it called? Hammer and anvil them. So Fremen is going to place the other side of them, and what that means is that they're going to be able to easily try to stop them. So basically...
Fremen's moving right now. Fremen's moving right now.
Harkonnen's going to wait to engage until Fremen gets there and then rush in while they're trying to run away. Or not as much. Oh, maybe they're just trying to stop the village from being pillaged. There we go.
The Fremen's by far the most difficult part.
Oh, they're going into a weird spot.
And the Fremen has a very bad... They did really well, Smugglers and Corrino. Because they were fighting at a place where Fremen cannot drop in the middle of the army. Because there was not enough desert there. There was not desert access. But it's a big... there's now a council right now. I think all these councils are boring. Doesn't matter. 300 Solari doesn't matter. Infiltration doesn't matter. That doesn't matter for them, all of them.
I think it's all factions, most of those anyway, so it doesn't really matter at all. But
this is a big fight right now.
Yeah. And it's interesting because they're going to just try to flank them directly, but the way they're flanking means that the Corrino troops and Smugglers troops will have a very good chance to escape. I'd like to see what's going on the Harkonnen side.
Well, I think that the Corrino has to defend a little bit the range units.
Harkonnen is trying to draw them into Carthag's missile defenses, and it seems to be working. And yes, with the Fremen now, there we go. Boom. And then now they're dropping all the operations in. And this is a mess. I can't really tell who's winning directly right now, can you?
That's the resupply right now. We have to resupply. You see gray.
Harkonnen is using the scavenging thing, and they're getting a lot of money back on their investment alongside the manpower, so they're just able to completely replace all their units and continue this fight. So it's war attrition.
The thing is, I think Smugglers and Corrino are going to win this fight, or are they going to win the war? There's a battle of attrition. And
Harkonnen, that was awful for Harkonnen right there.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like it's going to stop them, considering the amount of money that Harkonnen is getting. Harkonnen just placed another like an upgrade on their troopers right now, and the Corrino troops are starting to get quite low in general. So he was trying to cycle the low away troops away from them.
That's really good. This is really good. They just to defend right now.
I want to see what Fremen is doing to rectify the situation on his.
They're not going to win this. They won this battle, but Harkonnen can. They have the council. They get 50% refund.
Yeah.
So the reinforcement of Harkonnen is way stronger during the whole game.
But the Smugglers troops and Corrino troops getting the XP they need is going to make them a little bit more difficult to deal with fodder.
That's true. Yeah, I think because of the 50% discount of manpower, Harkonnen. They also have a downside, but that counts where they don't get XP, and they don't get health. Don't regain health.
Oh shoot! What's Fremen doing? They're doing something.
Let me see.
Oh, they're just moving their troops into. Okay, I thought they were ripping for an attack, but they weren't.
Who has the most manpower right now?
It would be Harkonnen. It has to be.
Harkonnen, you have to multiply with 1.5, so they have 34 now, but 50. Something like that. Smugglers probably has to less manpower, so he has to compensate with something else.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's -1 right now, but it's because he is healing right now. No, Smugglers has quite at 24. It's quite on par.
Harkonnen is almost back up to full strength.
The Harkonnen is very strong.
And I think they look like they're staging for a push again, maybe. Because you can see they're pushing their troops forward, but they're not using them for taking territory, even though Harkonnen clearly, I think, almost has enough authority to take a territory. So he's clearly planning something.
Let me see the manpower reduction. I think Horus Ra has too little manpower. That's the main issue with Corrino. They don't have enough villages to get manpower.
And that's where it's interesting that their entire strategy is based around fodder, like the conscripts, when they can't get enough manpower to effectively replace them easily.
That's why the Sardaukar is Sardaukar execution ability is shit as hell, but they are good in taking damage.
Yep.
They are tanking for the rest of the team. It's actually quite a shitty unit for that, but in their rooster it's pretty good because they're by far one of the most tanky units in the rooster of Corrino.
It's the only tanky unit in their roster overall. Other than you can do some interesting stuff with their basic swordsmen to make them.
I see now also for Smugglers Corrino right now. They also want to make some money right now with sieges. They are almost done already. That's a very big, very important part of the game. People most time forget. Pillage the sieges. They give you free money, free experience, and often you don't lose a unit because they're stupid AI. And it's quite important.
Also, if you see Smugglers, it looks like they've already have some tier 3 units within their loadout. So that's going to be powerful for them. If they were tier 3 snipers, I would be extremely worried for everyone else, but they're not yet. So, but looks like they're going to Walhalla, the Smugglers, that is.
They have to deny the regions.
I think they're going to be pillaging, I believe. Actually, but they do have quite a bit of authority, so they might be able to do something else.
I know Cream and Harkonnen and Fremen really want to have that special region.
Oh shoot! They do not want them to take it. The Smuggler, there's a fight about to happen there. Big one.
It's a really important. They always want to connect, and I think a lot of people forget that in the team game.
Yeah. Oh, Thumper is going down the false Thumper.
Oh.
Room sign.
Fremen,
fighting on the desert, so that is going to be awful.
Also, the desert with all the operations from Harkonnen and Fremen is a disadvantage because the Fremen decreased the damage for all the enemies. Harkonnen has increased their own damage.
Oh gosh, the Smugglers are just melting.
So operation-wise, they're losing hard.
There we go, and then now that Harkonnen gets it for free because the worm. That's all they needed. The decoy thumper, I believe that's what that unit is, right?
I don't know why they attacked, but decoy thumper was actually quite. I don't know why they did that actually.
Yeah, no, Smugglers lost a bunch of 3 experienced units.
Corrino and Smugglers should have done is should retreat a little bit to the polar sink. So the 2 operations, the combat drugs from the Harkonnen and that special thing that would reduce the damage from Fremen, won't have an effect. They only affect in that region. So they had to go out of that region.
Harkonnen is already back to full strength. They've got 6 recruitments simultaneously.
That's the biggest strength of that counselor. I think they made the strategic mistake to go a little bit to the right to the polar sink to actually avoid those 2 operations from Harkonnen and Fremen. Would be a little bit better. It was a very minimal micro mistake, but it's a big mistake.
Yeah, Harkonnen's almost finished with all their military techs now, so. Oh shoot. The labor rights is going to be devastating for Harkonnen, I believe, because they've got the full 65 that they can easily get for their military, and that is going to be expensive. Let me check who else has high command points. That's probably going to get denied just because of how... Oh, it's elected faction. Oh, they're voting Fremen in. Lolgek is voting the Fremen in, and so is Horus Ra. So Cream is going to get hit hard by that unless they deny it, which is interesting considering he has less used command points than Harkonnen, and Harkonnen would have kept up more military force. So do you think they're more worried about Horus Ra's military than they are about Harkonnen's? Or?
I think the reasoning behind this council is, first, does my team has more votes than other team? That's one. If not, you go for another second option. You want to win that one. And I think they went for 1% for Fremen. Because they expect it's more costly. I have no clue why, but I think money is.
The economy is a little bit weaker by default, so I think what they just did in the council just put them into a deficit.
Doesn't really matter in 2 versus 2. People, the teammate can also help with Solari.
Yeah, which makes, because Harkonnen can easily help with Solari. It would have made more sense to put Harkonnen into a deficit, but I don't think Harkonnen could go into deficit at this point. Oh, he already is.
It's a deficit doesn't really matter in this game. Most players have a deficit the whole game.
Oh no, of course, because you're pillaging.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It's the only way to do it.
Oh, Horus Ra.
Yep, the Fremen troops are about to come into the fight, and
it's a
so
strategic
is
mistake.
the Harkonnen army in full.
Never attack alone in a 2 versus 2. That's a golden rule. And he loses now his army.
Especially considering that Horus Ra is playing Corrino, and the army is expensive for manpower. I mean, he only has 11, he's like 13 manpower right now, which is nothing.
It's very costly for Corrino because they have less villages, so less manpower production.
Look at the deficit he's running with no army. That's crazy. Oh, now he's back out of it. But
It doesn't matter that much, but deficit doesn't matter. I have to say that Corrino definitely pumped up the manpower to 36.
Which is huge for Corrino.
Definitely, yeah. He doesn't have Winchiska, so they cannot build the same buildings in the same village.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even have that, so he probably has a recruitment center in every village. Let me see what Grim has. Grim has about...
There's another fight about to happen.
Come on, they really should use more operations. It's also very important in team games. The operations are more strong. Because they also...
Affect your team.
Yeah, because they help more. The supply, I think, also affects teammate. And I don't think the combat trucks perhaps also affects your teammate. I'm not sure, actually. I have to test that. But I have the feeling the operations are more important in the team game. So
Losing the polar cap is huge, especially considering they won previous fights. But I guess since Corrino just completely lost their entire army just now, they're in kind of a tight spot.
Yeah, I think there was a small strategic mistake over there. Because he saw that militia were attacking. That's how they were attacking militia, but that takes quite a lot of time to liberate a village. So even though they attack the militia, and you don't have a carrier-copter checking any reinforcements from somewhere else.
Smugglers has all of their units highlighted right now, and they're waiting for a second, so they're doing something.
They just gave up that region. They just recalibrate. So let's see.
Yep, push an underworld headquarters. It looks like. Oh, they recalibrated from military underworld headquarters to economic underworld headquarters. That's interesting. Smugglers. I guess they've given up early military dominance.
I think I think it was okay to attack in the beginning, but they lost a little bit of initiative. I think it was probably better instead of attacking in the north, immediately start pillaging again.
Do you think smugglers should have already started converting to a more mid-game army than just all melee and scavenger drones? Or no?
Yeah, I think they're both not 10k, so it doesn't really matter. They don't have another choice. After 10k hegemony, you can just start and
snipers, I believe, can be recruited before 10k.
Snipers are less strong in this army.
But they would help with the skirmishes that are obviously coming.
Snipers are not good in bulbs like this. Snipers are good in small fights. Not in this situation.
Oh shoot, this is going to be interesting. I'm surprised.
But what are the... Yeah, let's go.
I'm surprised Corrino didn't put his troops over in that general area, because he has the scouting to know where they are. But
I think the biggest difference in this game is operations. I think they did well with Corrino and Smuggler. They don't do well in the operations. I think they should have done better.
yeah, Smugglers are very operation heavy to my knowledge.
A little bit. They can do quite a lot of stuff.
Also, Consolidation is the Corrino one that I know the Corrino player is focusing on right now, which is the 2 armor one. Is really good, but considering
2 armor is very good,
has
yeah.
enough demolition units, it's irrelevant. Also, total capture of that village is going to be significant loss for Corrino, as far as authority.
Authority is very helpful, but also it's on a high ground. If you place a turret over there, it's also close to the main base, so it's very difficult to defend. So it's very difficult to attack if they get a higher ground. It's a higher ground position.
Oh?
Council, yeah.
Interrupting what is about to be awesome, but you know. I know Corrino is going to go for authority production. That's just guaranteed. And tax negotiations, sure. I feel like, is going to be something either... I think Harkonnen's going to really want that.
So authority production is probably the least interesting. Salary upkeep is by far the most, probably the best one.
Of course, but I'm saying Harkonnen will likely be able to push that fully, I think.
Which one? Salary upkeep?
Yeah, it assumes... Oh, no, I'm wrong.
Salary upkeep is way more important.
They're putting the Solari one entirely... they're working to put it entirely on Corrino right now. And they...
Yeah, because the salary upkeep is way more important.
What is the other side doing as far as their votes?
Manpower. And operations make the difference over here.
Yeah, that's a clusterfuck. But the smugglers seem to be letting the Corrino troops like take in the damage for the most part.
It's really good. Right now they do way better. They're fighting on the border of the region, so they don't get affected by the Fremen damage reduction. Immediately see the difference in the effect. If they did this the last fight in the middle, the left of the Polish thing, they probably won. It's a really big difference.
Loss for
2 units or something.
Yeah.
Big. You see the difference? If you fight at the borders, the Fremen operation is shit because they always melee, so they have to. If you attack them by range, they have to go out of sight, out of that region where the operation is.
Yeah, every single Fremen unit is dead as of right now.
Yeah, because they did well fighting at the border outside the region where the operations are for Harkonnen and Fremen. That was the difference over there. And you see how big impact the operations have and how you can deal with it. It's really important.
It most certainly is.
Just destroy the buildings. This region is also very important for Fremen because it has a fuel cell benefit. And Fremen cannot build fuel cells with increased damage, I think 5%. It is quite a lot because it's cumulative for every one.
Yeah, and if you get like 2 or 3 of them, it's massive. But it seems to be that they're not going to be getting very many.
Gray. Gray can very well reinforce because he has 30% higher because of the Councillor. and also get 50% refund from the same council.
Harkonnen is almost entirely back up on operations and military. That is,
Yeah,
they might be
that's the
ready
biggest
to-
strength.
They might be ready to go fight immediately soon. Whereas Fremen are almost there as well.
Yeah. I think they did really well with the operations fighting at the border, so that was the big difference. If they keep on doing it, oof.
Yeah. Corrino seems to actually be handling their losses quite well, surprisingly. But I guess since he is going a more fodder-based build, it makes sense. Oh, he's just is about to start after this tech. He starts the artillery drone tech, which is pretty powerful against the Fremen, to my knowledge. Artillery drones.
Oh, they're going for a timed attack, Harkonnen and Fremen right now. This is always devastating. That's why you never should liberate a village with your whole army. Only one unit, just to slow down.
Dang it!
Oh, this is
They
really
still
good.
lose.
They still lose, yeah. The
They're
timed
just
attack
going to kill the
completely
Fremen.
wrongly timed.
And they
Really
wasted a
completely
thumper on
wrong.
this. So
Thumper
that's
was really big deal.
yeah. But the thing about Corrino is they're so good at defending. But it looks like
Watch
they're
out.
still going in.
Okay, let's see the fight again. When are the operations popped? That's the most important question of it.
Oh, they're retreating the moment the operation popped. They can wait it out because they haven't started taking the village yet.
Man, I cannot see the fight pop.
Oh shoot, Harkonnen seems to be doing quite well. But it looks like Corrino learned from their mistake and popped operations this time, though.
Ho ho ho! That was
Oh shoot, this worm just annihilated.
I think there was more units from Corrino and Smugglers than for Fremen and Harkonnen.
Completely. I mean, you can see their armies are completely in tatters.
Yeah, they couldn't move away. Because it's a situation you cannot move away in that kind of attack because you lose initiative. The opponent just attacks you and then you just run away.
Yeah.
But you have to stay. That was just unlucky, I think. It can also be easily Fremen units.
Corrino losing an outlying territory like that is going to be huge because if they lose an outlying territory, it means that it'd be so expensive authority-wise to reclaim. Also, Harkonnen has demolition units in its loadout right now, which means it can destroy the armor on the main base, or at least do some damage to it. And the Imperial base is so much less powerful than a normal base.
Is the Imperial base from Corrino weaker? I don't know.
I believe it is a little bit weaker.
Okay, let's...
Yeah, look, it's already taking huge damage.
Yeah, but it probably has siege ascendant, so it doesn't really matter. And right now the Fremen flagship is tanking all the...
And they can just retreat that before it dies and they win.
Harkonnen is so strong at reinforcing. He's one of the best reinforcements.
Oh, worm.
I didn't see the one.
Oh gosh, I think Corrino gets eliminated here. Yeah, that's over for Corrino. And that's probably the match.
That's why the policy was so important. Because then smugglers can build an airfield over there, and then you can reinforce better. This game was all about reinforcement.
Yeah.
And losing the polysync makes this, the reinforcement supply line from smuggler to Corrino way longer.
I think Corrino placed their main base in an interesting spot in order to directly reinforce Blue, but Blue wasn't, like Smugglers was not the one targeted, so it was irrelevant.
We didn't talk smuggler because Corrino has also the mobility from faction tech to use the airfields from his teammate. But smugglers had the issue because he didn't have an airfield nearby Corrino.
So they could easily target Corrino first.
Yeah, because the supply lines of the reinforcement lines of smugglers are longer relatively from Corrino. and that's all because they lost the polar sink. And if the smuggler keep it, they can place an airfield there, and they can easily reinforce. That's the biggest issue over there. The supply line from smugglers is just too long right now. Reinforcement. What Gray does right now, he builds an army, sends it to his south region by airfield, and then sends it to the army. He's probably further away from Corrino, but he can
Corrino
reinforce.
is so lucky to have been able to place their main base before this happened.
Yeah,
Their second one, that is.
This is quite tough, I think.
And Fremen has 3 thumpers right now, so it's disastrous overall. Let me see what's going on, because it looks like Corrino's losing a territory to something else as well. Yeah, no, they're not losing it. Okay. It's just smugglers occupy. Oh, interesting. Corrino's going all Sardaukar right now, as far as their construction of units.
It's more manpower efficient, I think.
Really?
Probably.
Oh, it's more water efficient, I think.
Because smugglers goes for snipers, and then building Sardaukar for Corrino is quite logical. Because you need an cannon fodder, meat shield from the Sardaukar. That's pretty good combo with the snipers from Smuggler. I don't think this game is over, but this is definitely the initiative is for Harkonnen and Fremen.
I'm not sure, because if Corrino loses that particular sector they're Harkonnen's attacking right now, they will be just gone.
Yeah, but Smuggler is building the flagship also, so it will be interesting.
Smuggler's flagship is interesting, especially against Harkonnen and Fremen.
I think the flagship is even better if you have Sardaukar. You slow down the enemies, and they mostly have melee units, Harkonnen and Fremen, so they slow down. It's even more annoying. And Sardaukar also very good for.
Also, Fremen has replaced most of their army with Fedekan at this point. It looks like. And
yeah, they have a good economy, yeah.
And they're completely they're full on manpower. There's just very little chance, I think.
Yeah, we will see. Smuggler is a quite strong late game army if they want to. But it's definitely an uphill battle.
Certainly. They're really going to try to stop Harkonnen from doing that, because that will take Corrino pretty much out of that match.
It's not the biggest issue they have to do.
Oh shoot! The flagship's coming in. We'll see the first.
And now they shoot, and you put Sardaukar on the front. Come on, yes, okay, they do it. Yeah, well done. That's nice. Very typical Fremen strategy, by the way. He uses 1 or 2 warriors to force ranged units into melee. You always should run with those units.
Yeah, the Smugglers' flagship has been devastating. But not enough. The only reason it works so well is due to the lack of range units from...
yeah, they ate all the units from Smuggler and Corrino also. Yeah, it's quite difficult over here. It's probably better to attack from the hills in the southeast, because the worm cannot go there and does drop a supply line, and I think it affects you and your teammate. It's probably a better position, because where they are attacking right now, the worm can eat them. That's which happened. You see the research agreement for. You see on the Corrino's screen.
Let's get to...
Oh, influence trading. That's something. It means they might be planning something with influence. Oh, maybe is Corrino transferring his resources? Not that point yet.
The biggest problem with Corrino is that they don't have enough villages to gain manpower. That's one. Second, they don't have the building the headquarters building to train 6 units instead of 4. Makes it even worse. And they don't have the alternative to get guild favor to build air units or air units.
Yeah, no, you can see Corrino is currently building more manpower buildings from all the villages that don't have it.
That's the difficulty with Corrino. The manpower is an issue, and they don't have any guild favor production, so they also cannot go air.
And Harkonnen's coming in and reinforcing further. Yeah, all snipers. That's expected, especially with the.
How can I?
They're trying to. Corrino's going to do the front line, and then snipers and the smugglers flagship. It looks like the snipers are getting a little. Oh, there we go. Okay. Worried about the micro there.
Right now.
But that starter card got into the fight a little too early.
The region, just don't go into the region.
Popped. Operations.
Fight at the border of the region, so you can always walk to the other region where there's no operation. That's a big deal. Lolgag, Fremen, Cream is very good using 1 or 2 units to deny ranged units to attack.
Yeah.
And instead of Lolgag shouldn't group all ranged units in one, he should separate them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and keep all those units busy.
Also, they just lost another army they could not afford to lose. But Corrino will never get to its full strength again.
The snipers are not strong anymore over here because the Harkonnen and Fremen have too much armor.
Smugglers are also completely out of manpower. And none of these particular Landsrad witnesses will help them stay alive, I think.
Yeah, alive, but is that enough? That's the question. That's difficult.
To be clear, I said help them stay alive. Doesn't guarantee it.
I think 1 minus spice is probably one of the by far the most important things you should do right now. It can hurt the economy is probably the only thing they actually can do, but I think Fremen and Harkonnen has a pretty good economy.
Yeah, no, their economy, like for example, right now, Hark is producing 124 spice.
It doesn't really matter. Economy is less important 2 versus 2 because your teammate can always help, so you're less punished for it. Right now, there's a supply issue for Harkonnen right now.
But they've got a village near enough that it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But smugglers are going to really want to push that supply issue right now. But it's a shame for the smugglers that Corrino can't reinforce that supply issue. If they could,
supply drop
might actually be a real. Nope. They're trying to bait. I think they were trying to bait them. Looks like they succeeded.
The sniper user of smugglers is kind of strange. He groups them, I think. Preem and always use 1 Fremen unit to attack
Harkonnen's
1
disbanding.
range unit. Always thought that.
Harkonnen just disbanded a few units to change the comp, it looks like.
Let me see. Some composition I can see what he did.
I think he was a little bit over capacity too, so that makes sense.
If you're over capacity, I think your whole army gets nerfed. I think that does lower damage or something. Helpful to defend that. Right now, Hark is positioned to. They mix in 3 range units. There's 2 purposes for that in the Hark army composition. 1, the main source is Hark range units are by far the best armor killer unit in the game. They can shoot very fast, and every time they shoot, they lower the armor of the head of the main base or from units.
I do believe they have collateral damage, however.
Probably also possible, but it's not the main issue with that.
Oh no, that's their only downside. They had to add it, otherwise they'd be too powerful.
I don't think the area damage is by far the most important thing for them. I think the armor.
The armor cracking is
It's really important for them, for the headquarters and also for the flagship.
And that is why Corrino is kind of in a tight spot. In general, is because their only way to crack armor is through the artillery and their flying unit.
No, flying unit would be actually quite interesting over here. Not super.
But they can't make
artillery probably better.
I don't think they can make flying units right now because they don't have the.
Corrino couldn't do it. They don't have fuel cells.
Yeah.
In a team-playing game, you're not so punished by resources that you can trade. For example, Solari or Plascrete or Intel, whatever, because your teammate can help with that. The most important things are manpower and fuel cells. You can really get punished for that. Fuel cells, if you don't have fuel cells, you cannot do air or drones. And manpower, you cannot do a non-mechanical army.
Hark is building a nuke.
Yeah, you can. I already expected that because he has 5 range units, gunners, and he only builds them to destroy armor of a headquarter building really fast. If it's combined with a nuke, it's even better.
Yeah.
And there's also an interesting thing that the nuke you see is also quite valid in 2 vs 2, more than free for all.
In free for all, it opens you up to way too much issues than versus the benefit of it.
What kind of issues then?
The Landsrad Pariah actually does create issues because it means it reduces your ability to project force because you have to defend your.
That's a good move, by the way, right? Smugglers right now. They did a thumper over there, I think. Yeah, they did a thumper. I'm not sure. This is a quite important battle over here in the south. I'm not sure, but I think there's a worm. And Smugglers is now in a better position with the range units. Harkonnen
that was perfect. That was some gorgeous kiting right there from the Smugglers. Absolutely amazing. That is going to be huge, and the high-level snipers, and the fact that they've now have some sort of front line, they could turn this around a little bit, but I still don't think it's possible to fully turn around for them.
Does Smugglers have an airfield in the south? Let me see.
Also, they might. Oh, they have supply. Don't they have very good supply, Smugglers? Oh, and Fadakin are coming back into their territory.
Smugglers is completely out of position because they don't have airfield. They have to walk back to the base. That's really bad. Smugglers has an operation for that. It's extraction thing. They can move all the units back to the headquarters.
That is. I don't think I've ever seen that in use.
I did it a couple of times. If I pillage deep in the enemy base and I see someone coming, I could use my extraction network to go back to my base. I wanted to use it this game. No, also another game today. But I forgot to do it actually. But it's quite strong for smugglers. You go deep into the area, pillage everything, and then you move back to the headquarters with the operation.
Oh.
I think military-wise they're very close to each other. I think the supply lines, the reinforcements, I think from Harkonnen was way better. Because they had airfields in the middle.
Also, the recent all sniper decision by Smugglers is actually really good for them now. Because with their flagship they can slow them down, so it allows the snipers a chance to kite. And then with Corrino they can just do all that versus having to create their own front line. But it looks like the Fremen and Harkonnen have complete dominance in the Landsrad as of last time.
Yeah, I think they have way more influence. You probably go from governor win.
I don't know, they might completely destroy.
Yeah, let me see Harkonnen's army.
That's a good idea.
Army composition of Harkonnen. Size if they go for base.
They have a good base killing army with the amount of armor killing they have, and the nuclear silo.
People also say something in the chat. Let's see. Gunners can be really nice indeed, Baron. I think they're very good for armor shred, especially if you do the speed upgrade. They do less damage, but they will shoot way more. I don't think they're very good damage dealers overall because it's a short range. But can be my preference. Armor shred gets more important late game. Armor shred is a gear upgrade for units, and only most I think the gunner is the only low tier unit can have that has armor shred in the whole game. Not sure. I think only the higher tier units have it. And gunner low tier also. And it's only good if your opponent unit has a lot of armor or buildings.
Okay, it looks like there's full operations for Harkonnen, which makes sense. And they're loading the nuke right now. What else?
Yeah. They go for the base rush. I think probably who they're going to do that is the question.
Oh, all in on artillery for Corrino. That's interesting. Have you seen? Is that good?
Artillery is actually before the previous update. The air was way better for Corrino. The hammers because it cost the shields, the mobility. But artillery, I think since the update, I think artillery is more used. But I think with any ranged army composition, the position is always the best, most important. Where do you attack? Is it on hard ground, so you?
I think that this is not necessarily the brightest army composition, considering they have the, considering how much Smugglers has gone in on snipers, because they can't defend those artillery units effectively if.
Okay, the artillery drones of Corrino. If you go to Corrino, they shouldn't position over there. They should position a little bit.
Oh, they're trying to rely on the militia, I think, to be their front line, which I think is something.
I would always go. No?
Doesn't the Fremen ability, the poisonous gas or whatever, doesn't it not affect mechanical units?
Perhaps. I'm not sure actually.
Pretty sure it doesn't. A lot of those percent damage over time operations don't affect mechanicals.
But you can see that the artillery drones denied the attack for Fremen. And Fremen's out of position because the Vampers only work. They don't have airfields. The Vampers don't work. They only work on desert. And you have to use multiple Vampers, I think, to go to the north. Let me see. Oh, the Vamper of Fremen. Let's follow the Vamper of Fremen. They're in the middle of the polar sync right now. It's really important. Lolgax probably has the best view. Okay. The range units are in general very good if you combine it with Vampers, the Worm Vamper, to defend them. So you attack from another region, and if they try to reach you, you drop in the Worm decoy, so the Worm comes. So you can protect those range units. It's quite a nice combo, I think.
Corrino finally got the manpower to start putting back together an army, which is interesting.
Actually, they don't have manpower, they have an alternative. They want mechanical power. That's a different thing. Because of the lack of the villages, they actually cannot go for manpower. They actually go for the alternative, not mechanical. Artillery drone, they have to because they don't have manpower production.
But it looks like they just went all in on swordsmen, conscript swordsmen.
Yeah, because they don't have enough manpower production, so they have to. Okay. Complete map control. Yeah, what can we do? The only thing I perhaps could think is a polar sink to get water and an airfield and then hopefully a vorn. Yeah, kill the players. Let's,
I'm surprised Hegemony's even coming this close to be an issue.
Yeah, they have map control, so it's quite easy to get villages, special or non-special. Harkonnen and Fremen are both very good for.
Now they can just confidently play defensively if they'd like to, because they can't really be beat in a fight in their own territory.
Yeah, it's a little bit like a StarCraft game. If you're already ahead, just improve your economy and your position. Don't attack further. Don't attack further if you're already ahead. I think they Harkonnen and Fremen are doing that right now. If they know they are ahead, they have map control, they have everything. There's no reason for them to attack.
What is the smuggler pinging over there? He's pinging something with what they're doing.
Yeah, if you're pillaging, it's quite important to know where the enemy armies are. There's two purposes for that. One is to not be denied the village that you want to pillage. That means that the enemy can take it if you clear it. And second, perhaps you can also, instead of pillage neutrals, you can also pillage enemy villages. So I think
nukes going off on the Imperial base right now. Yep, nuclear attack. That's huge. Destroying all. I think that destroys all the armor, right?
I also destroys all the armor. Yeah.
So,
okay, yeah.
The architectural survey's coming up. Oh shoot.
Oh, they're just trolling, man. They're just trolling.
And then that plus the operation. They could destroy some things.
Yeah. I think the Smugglers and Corrino Ra are doing well. Good defense, but they don't have an aggressive army. So the ranged units are very good for defending, and a little bit having some cost-efficient trades with the military, but not for big fights. They're not the best for that, if you ask me, in this game. So I don't know how they can win. I think they just slowly nuke the Corrino base and then Corrino dies. And,
Do you think they're just continuously nuke or what?
I think so, yeah. And also at the same time they want to probably go for hedge. There's no reason for Harkonnen or Fremen to attack right now. No real reason.
Oh, they're getting attacked, it looks like. Or not. What is the... We are listening, Majesty.
No, they get rebels. There's no reason for them to attack, so that's the whole issue right now.
Oh, Corrino's pushing up. What are they doing?
Yeah.
Are they trying to bait or something?
Yeah. Difficult to say, but... Can I see the map? Where those artillery drones are very good on higher hills with natural barriers to reach them. Because Harkonnen and Fremen army are most really.
Yeah, they're pushing. They're pushing for real. Worm. That's interesting.
They call it a worm, yeah, delay. Harkonnen is right now in a position. With Peter de Vries, they can. With the Harkonnen, they can speed up preparation, with sacrificing an agent, and also Peter de Vries lowers the price of operations every time you sacrifice an agent. So in that way, you can always have an operation ready, way faster than other factions. so you can spam the same operation all the time. This is really difficult. This is an all-in strategy right now.
Yeah, that's the only thing they can do, considering the hegemony victory and the nukes.
This is an all-in. This is an all-in. This is an all-in.
Oh, they're trying to nuke the base. That's interesting.
This is an all-in.
That is really interesting.
Did Smugglers Smugglers didn't do an underground headquarters below Harkonnen to remove all armor if you attack it? Over.
That's over. They lose. There's no way to come back from that.
Yeah, that was a good move.
It was the only thing they could do. And look at the smugglers are running out of supply. Because how far they've been out. They're going to lose their entire military as well.
Was this the best spot to attack?
Yeah, the deep desert. And they lost their flagship. That's just disastrous.
Yeah, they lost the whole army. If you ask me, attacking from that position was not so smart because it's lower ground and it has a direct path for the Fremen to decoy to go where the Vamper directly go there. If you go to the village more on the east from Harkonnen's headquarters, it was way more difficult for the Fremen to reach directly with the Vampers. And also it's higher ground, so it's also probably a little bit easier. And you can also put artillery a little bit back to the hills over there.
Yep, I think that's it, and I think they're just going to wait out hegemony now, right? Or nuke Corrino to death.
Yeah, it's quite over. And it's quite beautiful in this game is also economically. So if you already have the map control, you don't have to. You can also win by economics. They have way better economy. All resources are better, and they just built on their edge already. And that's why I also love this game. It's not only just attack.
No, there's so many aspects. You've got the hegemony as just kind of like an underlying. Someone will have to win. You've got the chome market for someone just is absolutely beating everyone else out in economy. You've got assassination, which is a lot less useful now. But
yeah, we agreed on 2 vs 2. We don't do assassination because in 2 vs 2, I did one game. I think last week I assassinated someone in month 2, day 20.
Oh gosh, yeah.
In a team game, just want to test it, and it was and these plays were not even bad.
No, of course.
So, not this kind of level, but they were not bad. I just assassinated them. It's 2 vs 2 assassination is too strong if you know what you're doing. You cannot really prepare for it.
Yeah, you
next
can't counter it directly.
Next nuke is coming.
Oh.
Next nuke is coming.
That's exciting.
Nuke is only valid. For 3 nukes you can kill the base. Nuke is only good in 2 vs 2. Why? Free for all, if you nuke, you lower your Lensrat reputation.
It's disastrous.
And it's disastrous because if you can kill 1 player, you still have to kill the other 2. So it's not really good. In 2 vs 2, if you kill 1 player, you probably already won, even if you have a low Lensrat reputation. Okay, for example, Corrino shouldn't attack in this field. They probably should do a supply drop and have in the desert they shoot. They shoot from the desert to all those units because there's a natural hill barrier in between. And it's also desert. So you need with artillery drones, you need the natural barriers to make it harder for melee units to attack.
Look at Harkonnen Solari. I think that's a little bit interesting. They've been doing quite well on that front. What happened?
Let's see. Harkonnen Solari? Not right now.
No, they were at 96. They just got a bunch from doing some.
Probably in siege, I think. Probably. I don't know.
They were just at 96 with minus 96.
They have a big army, a lot of upkeep. Doesn't matter.
I think Hark is just going to go for Water Sellers Union, I think. Or Water
He
Sellers.
does go for economy. Water Seller probably the best choice for economy. They have also way more votes, right? Not sure. I think Corrino Smugglers also have quite a lot of votes.
Actually, since he's a pariah now, that is to say, Harkonnen's a pariah, so that it's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah, but he's just building nukes, and I think that Harkonnen can also speed up the building of nukes with the agent sacrifice. Peter de Vries really helps. So they can. The next nuke is deadly for Corrino. That's why they also attacked. Go all in.
Yeah. I was really impressed with the Corrino player's ability to stay in the match after losing as much as he did.
Yeah, it's a little bit like StarCraft right now because they don't want to kill the opponent if you're ahead. They're just building the second base like a StarCraft. They expand if they're ahead. To improve their the edge because everybody and battle can change the game, but economy if you have a strong economy, it's very difficult to lose because it takes a lot of time to liberate villages, to destroy buildings, go there, blah blah. Okay, Fremen is right now moving his whole army to the Imperial base of Corrino. I think he goes for the kill. Or not. I'm not sure. Probably not. I think Fremen should have used a cryocopter. Perhaps not. That's difficult to say. Fremen's just waiting.
Nukes common in the weekly tournaments or no?
2 vs 2, I think it's not. They're not common in any way, but I don't see nukes many times in Dune Weekly also not. But in 2 vs 2 they make more sense because killing a player doesn't have a free riding effect like a free for all. Free for all, you kill one player and the other 2 players also benefit from that kill player, but you lose your lance round, blah blah. 2 vs 2 is killing the players probably you win.
Exactly.
So I think the nukes are probably more valid in 2 vs 2. It's quite interesting. A couple of months ago I tried to persuade all these players to play 2 vs 2. They said it was shit. And now finally and these players only want to play 2 vs 2. They don't even play free for all anymore. It's quite fascinating.
Nice to have someone to have your back, you know?
It's way more strategic. It's faster 2 vs 2 and it's way more strategic because you can actually negotiate. Should we go for this policy in the council? Army compositions, where do we attack? There's no free riding. And if you kill one player, then other 2 benefit. It doesn't encourage passivity. It would be passive gameplay in free for all is very passive. Because if you attack one other benefit, it actually aggressive gameplay really benefits in 2 vs 2. And that's why I think people will more like it. I tried to persuade them many times, but it's quite funny to see the last 3 weeks they actually also know 2 vs 2 is better. I personally think so. Free for all with good players can take 2 hours, 3 hours. That's too long, I think. Okay, this is desperate
matter
move.
how good you are if someone, you know.
No,
if you're
it
the first one
just
to act and then now you lose because you were the only one to do anything.
Smuggler is smuggling and Corrino Ra attacking right now. This is a good position. Finally, the artillery drone has a high position on fixed ground, so the worm cannot eat them, and they are in range.
Yeah.
Finally, and you can immediately see the difference.
It turned out really interesting. Like I thought that was a great fight.
That's a great fight, yeah, but
nuke coming out on the army. That's a waste of a nuke, just considering how long it takes for a nuke to come down.
A nuke in the army?
Yeah, they're nuking the army.
I didn't see that.
Oh, he hovered it, I think. Let's see.
Oh, okay, it's possible.
I'm watching Hark right now, so I saw him pull it out twice, but I don't think he actually clicked.
I think Corrino has to reinforce, build more artillery. He's probably dying right now. Most Ra's probably dying.
It's a shame that Hegemony's just about at the end, but
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how, but the Corrino's base completely
it survived.
healed again. I think it's probably in the council decision.
I think that is the thing.
Has to be. Someone, people say something in the chat.
It makes nukes unable to kill it, it looks like.
Extreme, one of the viewers of this tournament game, is saying, "I want Corrino to come back from this lol." It's almost a half hour ago when he said that. They're fighting for the survival, but probably not enough. I also hear from another player, a viewer, I think, Baron. He can hear the players. I cannot. Cream and Grey. They say they are frustrated. So
I believe it because I think they were trying to do an early win, but it hasn't become that.
That's quite funny because you see that Hark went for gunner spam, and it's only for the armor threat. I'm almost certain for that. It's always if I see him doing that, I know he wants to destroy the base really fast.
Exactly.
And now he doesn't have that anymore in his base, in his armor, in his army composition. So you know it's just for defending. You go for hedge, and you can see, especially Grey communicates through his army composition. It's quite interesting to see. Yeah, if you see his army composition, you know what his strategy will be the upcoming 5 or 10 minutes.
I will say, I think that all special unit armies at the end game are boring. I feel like it's more interesting if you have to still have variety.
No, actually, it's Grey is very good in army composition. It's probably the best in this game because he mixed,
like, for example,
mixed a lot.
For Fremen, the only option is all Fatican and your flagship.
And that's true. The Fremens will be boring. I agree with that, but the other factions not.
Oh yeah, no, Harkonnen I feel like is probably the best design as far as like army composition forcing.
Yeah, they have different strategies. It's really interesting. Smugglers also to some extent. I think Corrino also.
Smugglers, yeah, they have some good army composition stuff. Atreides I think does as well. Don't you want their rangers and their swordsmen, their high tier swordsmen?
Atreides also, yeah. But I think most interesting Hark you can really see they are very good in specialization. If you want to go for executors and for Celebrity, I don't know it's called, they're very good staying force because for every unit that dies in a region, the executors heal with 50 or something. And the Celebrity, Celebrus or something, they spawn new units, so they have more units to die and.
Which is really
heal.
funny because the executors don't actually have the execute effect.
That's quite funny. Sardaukar does, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a very tanky army. That's completely different than the base killing army with the gunners. Harkonnen really want to drop their nuke. But nukes is horrible to kill armies. But,
I mentioned earlier, he just keeps trying to pull it out and he's like, no. Really adds a lot of personality to his gameplay. It's like, he's constantly tempted to use the nuke, but he has to not use it.
Nuking right now would be smart, perhaps. I don't know.
But he completely wins this regardless. I think, yeah.
I really think that Corrino and Smuggler would benefit if they attack on higher ground and or with natural barriers like hills or cliffs.
Or if Corrino had more helped with the... Oh shoot, yeah, that Smugglers just lost all their high tier snipers, it looks like. That's over for them.
Yeah, but they cannot attack in open fields. I think you should initiate a fight on a higher ground or a cliff. So the snipers, because the melee units have a longer path to reach those snipers. And they're more less efficient in walking also.
Corrino actually did go the double building character.
Which one?
Months ago, I think, not Erlon. I was very wrong.
That's really, perhaps I made a mistake.
I just noticed it because they had two of the the Solari buildings on the.
Oh, okay, then I didn't see it.
Yeah. We're about to get a hedge victory.
Yeah, you could see that in army composition of Harkonnen, especially. He went for a very executor Celebrus army composition that's very defensive. And with his 50% manpower reduction and 30% higher training speed, his defending is almost impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible to kill.
Surprised Fremen didn't lose their flagship, but I'm pretty impressed with the Fremen's flagship usage overall too.
It's a shitty unit, but they can tank very well. So that's a good thing also. They can tank a lot of hits.
That's why I
especially
really
from
like
the neighbors.
Harkonnen's one, is because it has all the fodder, and it can just basically the fodder can tank for you, and you can just rebuild the fodder if you retreat a little bit.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, can afford is quite important sometimes.
For Harkonnen, fodder is pretty much most of their army early game, and then not late game, which I think is interesting.
Executor Celebrus is a good.
Would the plural of like Cerberus be Cerebri? Like octopi?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I did some Latin on grammar school, but probably a Cerberi, but I don't know. It's based on Latin.
No, the English language is absolutely stupid in that stuff. So yeah.
We serve the Imperium.
Yeah. It's actually quite slow 2 versus 2.
Yeah, the fact that it went all the way to hedge is pretty significant.
I think that's been a while, I think, and 2 versus 2 in this tournament won by a hegemony win. I'm not sure, it's quite a long time ago, I think. Most of them are actually won by domination, one player is dead and then you're also dead. I think the second one is probably recently, I think, Governor. It's quite more popular.
Yeah,
Show 'em
governorship seems interesting because you can force it before hedge, but with Hark it doesn't work because, you know, Hark is Hark.
Horst Ra says to the other players, kill me.
Come get some.
Yeah.
He knows he can't be killed at this point.
What
He's
I
going all
personally would have done, I would go to the east side of the map where Harkonnen has one spice field. There's high ground and hard ground, so it's very good for ranged units on the right.
The issue is it's very close to Fremen, I think.
No, the east side of Harkonnen. There's one spice field over there. You can easily take it, and it's higher ground and it's hard. So it's way more easy to defend with ranged units. And from there, you try to create a bridge to the east side of Harkonnen, also on the higher ground, perhaps even the special region on the top over there.
Oh.
With your artillery drones on the edge of the cliff, perhaps you even can reach the headquarters.
Less supply text though, and wouldn't. Oh, it's not too far, but I would still worry about supply with those distances with Corrino, because they don't get the same supply. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, well done.
Hedge.
It was still a kind of stalemate, and then there was no clear winner. Then the hedge is the natural win condition if you have map control. I see that a high kill count, but I think also because the pillaging, smugglers and Harkonnen are very good at pillaging.
Yeah.
Corrino was a little bit. Yeah, unit count doesn't say everything, of course. Also, what kind of unit you kill. But let's talk with the players. Let me see. Let's unmute them.
No, like at the end. Why did you just bum rush me, bro?
I don't know.
I don't know if
We
that
were
was a
gonna win
play
with
there,
hedge.
Horace.
We were gonna win with
Oh,
hedge.
it was a play. Yeah, I was about to say you're gonna win on hedge anyway.
I had like no villages that game. I had one spice field until like months.
Man, I had the white riff right next to me. It's just, Logik, you wanted us to just murder Hulk the first game, so I was like, okay. And basically our army just got wiped, and that kind of sucked ass.
We had to try to kill me when architectural surveys
Yeah.
got put on there. I was gonna blow you the fuck up. You didn't know you were gonna get the fucking base healing. That's like a stupid rare.
We love that.
Yeah, that shit's cancer.
It was
Nah,
really fun.
guys
It went
got
from
that.
getting nuked to death to not getting nuked to death.
Exactly, bro. That's
Like I should have saved the nuke like 0.5 days, but I jumped the gun just to start throwing bombs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I did PM Sag. I muted you.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
that's
also
cool,
really
man.
funny.
Oh wait,
Fun
did
game.
I?
Was that
I
a fun
didn't-
game to watch?
It
It
was.
was fun.
I think it was a quite nice.
I'm gonna air this bitch out like I shit in it.
I think it was very interesting that Smugglers and Corrino attacked the Harkonnen.
Honestly, if I just didn't lose my main base, we would probably still be in it.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
I knew
but
y'all were running out of
With that
manpower.
month 3.5 alter, bro. That's
Yeah,
that's
bro,
a
that
problem.
was dumb.
Whereas that was
That's
kind
a
of
problem.
like Horace wasn't even stressed when he was losing the base. Though you're just like, all right, where am I gonna put my other base? while you
Exactly,
guys are-
bro. I
while
was
you guys
just
are
waiting there.
destroying his
I
base.
was just waiting there, like, what am I gonna
That's
do?
great.
here?
That's
Yeah,
great.
it was good. He was prepared, kind of. I mean, it would have been better if he didn't.
I was-
It was.
prepared, yeah,
I
okay.
think he knew it was an inevitability.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Once I got the executioners out and we started
Yeah.
winning the fights
No.
hard, and
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
was-
yeah.
that was-
You
I saw
had
the
a base
executioners, and I was like, oh, bro, that's so
Oh yeah,
dumb.
they both had siege incentives, I think, right?
killing. Yeah, with the whole
Yeah.
all the heavy gunners, you were really going for a base killing.
Yeah,
layout.
I
Oh, also
honestly-
that-
Comment
it
is
looks
how
like-
the moment you changed to executioners, he knew
Looked
you were
like
gonna
gunner
try to
spam was
basically
actually
raid it
kind
out.
of viable there, like in like army to
Yeah,
army
we were
fighting
trying
for a
to.
second
I
till the
tried to
worm ate
bait
him.
out your sleeper agents and that. Because I got you out of combat drugs almost every single
we
one.
had one fight where all of the smugglers and Corrino's units were bundled up, and I had like 4 gunners, and they're finna be eaten. They're
Bro,
finna
I
be
tried.
bombing these
I
motherfuckers.
legit sat there trying to just push my units through to get to those gunners and just
Let me
did
tell you
not
something
work.
though. As soon as you dropped your second base over there, I knew that domination was out of the question.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
because
only a
I
boss.
thought you were
Out of
gonna
the
worm
question.
over to go help, to go kill Smugs, but the minute I put that base there, that's you're not able to do it.
Yep.
I mean, but we had like the entire map to ourselves at that point.
Yeah. Honestly, if I just put it anywhere else, I probably could have sat there and tried to do
had